Right, today we're doing funny Roadwarden game. I don't know if it's funny or not. It's probably not funny, but it is purdy. Look how purdy this is. Look at the purdy clouds. It's so sepia core, you know? Sepia core? I don't know. Are these like trees? They're forested mountains. Is that a castle? Who knows? I think these are like birds or something. Anyway, it's a text adventure game where you like that's really it. It's a text adventure game with like RPG elements. So it's based. Beasts feel only hunger. Apparently beasts only feel hunger. I don't agree with that sentiment. I think beasts feel other things. But maybe in this universe they only what did I say? They only feel hunger. I played a little bit through the demo of this game. But I didn't really get very far. So, you know, who knows? Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, and burn human corpses. Why do you do that? Are they okay? And if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one. And it pays well. It's all that really matters, doesn't it? Though, I still have my doubts. Oh, it just stops. The game just ends. Okay. I better check my bundles. I think my horse has a cold. Can horses have colds? I should practice with my axe. I'll work in the harbor, buy better supplies. Are these infinite? I'll share one more day with my loved ones. Where are the settings? Is this Renpy? Guys, it's a Renpy. We're gonna start the game. Oh, what the heck? Pick a difficulty mode. This choice can't be altered later on. Switch to advanced options. Well, I don't even know what the options are. Leave me alone. Okay, so there's a casual mode for those focused on the story. No time limit. You get more cash at the start. And some quests are more forgiving. Standard mode for those familiar with RPGs. Oh no, guys, I've never played an RPG before. What are those? It's a 40-day time limit with the regular rule set. I don't really like the time limit, but you know, like I don't want to like dump like 5 hours into a playthrough and then like become soft locked and have to like restart from the beginning. But I don't know, maybe that's fun. You know, maybe that's fun. Regular rule set. Restrictive for the returning Roadwardens. A 30-day time limit and increased nighttime damage. That just sounds annoying and unfun. We'll play standard. Guitar intensifies. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around. Are you? Are you sure? Are you sure there are not wolves? The wolves are everywhere, I assure you. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk nor trolls. And the night is near. Your pal Frey breathes heavily. Had a long day. Huh. I could just look for another shelter. I need to look around, cautiously. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. Let's peek inside. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, and a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the gate slowly. Did I sneak and peek? I don't know, maybe I didn't sneak and peek. Let's do a quick save. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. Huh. I guess I did peek inside. I could just look for another shelter. And you look around cautiously. I think we just go inside. I think this is where we're going. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with a head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. Take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Flesh-eating bugs, like lice? Is that what we're calling them now? Her eyes are weary yet kind. She smiles. Maybe this setting has super lice. I don't know. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them, 8 you believe. What have they been doing here? I let them speak first, or I ask them about their lieutenant. Let's be affirmative. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat system. So it can be friendly, playful, distanced, intimidating, or vulnerable. Be sad. Be sad. Be tired. I don't think we want to be mean. Playful. Let's be friendly. Why not? I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Can we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I. Though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? As a different character. The soldier in the shirt. Is that an iconic character feature? Right. He's going to forego a name and instead be known as Soldier in Shirt. Alright. Why not? Explains how you got here in one piece all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. There's a long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. It may be a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me. That's so beta. Don't be beta, guys. How do you want people to call you? Thou start to become a Lupo. Is his letter the canon name? Not to be confused with that one guy. Her grasp is confident, the shake is slight. Dude, what the heck? She's mogging on us. Just keep your horse away from the tents, she steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Ah, there's this issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. Well, I guess I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. That's a way of describing a big horse, right? This is some like gorish, like body horror ass dialogue. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. Oh, that's where we live? That's where this takes place, the Dragonwoods? I suppose those flying figures on the title screen may have in fact been dragons then. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. It's my only companion here. I wanted to feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need to be strong if I wanted to travel. And I can't afford another one. This sounds mean. Let's be nice. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. Why is it scolding us? Because we left it alone? Was it scared? Does it have separation anxiety? You scratch the bottom of its neck, with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals, even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. Yeah, sure. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple minutes to examine its back, just in case. Dangerous word. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time it can start to chafe. You wish I had something better to eat than the shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than the dragon bone. Are dragon bones the currency? We're just chucking dragon bones around. What's a dragon bone equivalent to in modern, non-medieval fantasy time? You know, is it like a nickel, a quarter, maybe a $2 bill? Who knows? Right, because he's saying it like it's like something cheap, right? Maybe these people are just constantly out here slaying dragons. I don't know. Right, is your like wealth in this world relative to like? Is your wealth in this world relativistic to how many dragons you can slay? That'd be kind of cool. But maybe it's just metaphorical. Maybe they're not literal dragon bones. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions, essential for your trade. Are you a fighter who has spent savings on decent combat equipment? Having a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quarrels? Or do you have talismans that help you to use your powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson? Or do you carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as the iron axe, gambeson, and a small healing potion? These all seem really neat. Fighter seems optimal, you know? There's rarely a game you play where you just, like, play as a guy with a big sword and you don't end up winning. But these ones seem more interesting. I want to learn more about the 3 classes. As a fighter, you have an easier time with physical challenges. The mage uses Pneuma? Okay. Versatile but limited pool of energy that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. You'll be able to heal faster while resting. What does Scholar do? You'll know more about the world's mysteries, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your characters will impress the locals with its knowledge, and you'll be able to read the sparse, written clues without anyone's assistance. They struggle in combat more than other classes, but with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. Scholar sounds the most interesting, especially if we get insight into, like, the lore of this world. You know? Mage sounds fun because it's mage. Fighter, obviously, is probably one of the more efficient choices, but let's be a scholar, let's be a bookworm. Right? Let's dig deep into the lore. Right? You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Go away. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you to avoid mistakes. But this doesn't make anything more exciting. Return to the soldiers. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Sit down on a tree log. It's kind of aesthetic, kind of cottagecore, right? I join them and take a look at the meal. I thank them for the meal, but I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. I completely ignore the meal and sit down to speak with Tulia. Huh. This is our health. We should probably, like, eat, right? Eating probably restores our health. Minecraft armor system. We probably eat. So these are just soldiers. I don't know. I just kind of... right, it's a bit talky-walky here. Let's expedite the process a little bit. Not completely, but let's get a move on, shall we? She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to, and less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, and 1 has run away in tears. I know I read that so weird. We're also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leads forward, his legs shaking nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom, his untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. This is so stuck up. I share what I consider to be relevant. Tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Havlan. I was thinking I could, like, highlight the keyword. It's letting me know it's a keyword, but it's not going to tell me what the keyword is. Thank you. Since this area is too far away from Havlavan? I think it's Havlavan. Guys, whenever you make, like, wacky fantasy words, can you make them... Can you make them have a symbolistic structure that is, like, readable? Since this area is too far away from Havilan... It's called Havilan now. Screw you. It's Havilan. To keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Oh, she gets a chair. She gets out of a chair. Honestly, chairs are overrated. I would rather sit on a log, you know? Where should we start? It's a lot of dialogue. What should I know about the peninsula? Any ideas of what happened to the previous Roadwarden? We're asking these questions. What happened to your squad? We can cut that question. Telia, how did you become a lieutenant? We can cut that question. Sounds boring. What's your squad's mission? Yeah, what's this one? That is a question I literally asked upon arriving here. What are they doing? The lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual, making the roads safe, keeping people alive. But isn't that my job? Art not thine, the Roadwarden? I explained that it may be important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. Can't really tell you. He sensed a hesitation. Do you have any other questions? What? That's so frank, right? That's so frank and defensive. Okay, screw them, I guess. Well, what should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent pal fray, I'd guess it would be 3 or 4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation, why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Haviland officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move soldiers, collect the lumber, and deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one, well, it's like filling the ocean depths with coins. Huh. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get in much closer. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. Accidental accent. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north has ever come to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and well, he turns to Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Lupo, but are you a devout soul? Are we a devout soul? Huh. So I guess this is a sort of religion. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. So this is like standard religion, I guess. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. Okay, so this is Christianity, this is Buddhism. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of my shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. What is that? Is that a deistic religion? Is this just a community? Whatever. I have a strong connection to the nature and spirits and followed the paths of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. Pagan? What the heck? There's no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. So devout soul is someone... I don't really understand what a devout soul... Because these sound like religious, but then this is just vaguely religious. And then this is like... distinctly not as religious. Well, I guess it is still religious. So this is atheist option. This is witch girl. This is witch. Should we just be Buddhist? Well, we are, if we're going to look at this from a technical perspective, we are a scholar and we deal with like herbs and alchemy and stuff, and that sounds somewhat similar to what the Order of Truth seems to be doing. But also, I don't know, this option seems boring, right? This option seems boring. I feel like if we're a pagan, there's going to be just like circumstances. I feel like if we're a pagan, there's going to be circumstances where like we need someone's help, but they're going to be like,
No, you a heretic. I shall never help one such as thine.
we're going to be Buddhist, I guess. Oh, I see. She hesitantly looks away. Aw, dang it! If I was a good Christian boy, would she have begun to trust me more? I don't know much about that river of faith. River of faith. So like a religion. Did we create a 3-word title for the word religion? I don't know. Maybe the concepts of rivers of faith are more complex and important. But I'm sure we're not that different. I'm a unite to myself. She's a Catholic. She says with a sort of pride in her voice. So she follows the United Church. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials here. Oh. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think, even if it has a priest who claims to be an Eremite. What is an Eremite? You nod. She means a fellowship. Huh. What is fellowship? What is a fellowship? Are they like Scientologists? They do crazy shit. Her companion chirps in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged never to return there. Okay, that sounds blatantly pagan. I've heard tales such as these since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without the city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. This is a very ethnocentric worldview, but yeah, I'd rather there not be necromancers, though. Admittedly. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages. The bringers of doom. The traitors to humankind. Yeah, all of that doesn't sound too poggers. Well, druids are fine. They're just kind of silly. Blood mages, depends on whose blood. Necromancers, right, that one's kind of weird. Right. But you know, it's like, I don't think they're that bad. Like necromancers, right? But the druids and the mages, they're whatever. Were you able to speak to these necromancers? Were they? You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it, Lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. Roads are dangerous with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to the inn first, and soon, Tulia nods. Oh, you'll get to the inn first, and soon. Tulia nods. Part of the north is a safe place. You can talk with the inn or the guards. Ask them about the road. How about the east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man started to count on his fingers. Goblins, treants, cats large and small. Well, like a small cat. I don't think a small cat is that much of a concern. Runners, howlers, wolves. Wolves? Spiked boars. Mufflin eaters. Griffins. But we managed to stay away. That's a lot. Okay, what is a howler versus a wolf? Is this like... Who knows? Maybe it means like howler as in like howler monkey. Maybe they're howler monkeys. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine. What is a palfrey? Is that like a real life breed of horse? They keep saying palfrey. Palfrey? Godfrey? I don't know. Palfrey. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. That's all I need to know. Yeah. Any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? Tulia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. Why do they have to get their story straight? Just say it. Were they involved? Were they involved with the demise of the old Roadwarden? Is that why they're being so secretive? Probably not, right? Probably not, but, you know. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in the early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice, always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on the wax of his tablet. Write notes on that wax tablet of his. The reverse way I said it also made sense, I guess. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion? Asterion? I assume this person is not a vampire. Asterion never gets bored. Teal lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Is there a reason to not like them? Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone's keeping him in a basement, made cars with passion. We haven't seen him or his Saurian. Oh, what's a Saurian? Something ate them, I bet. Officials have hired you, right? It means they don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. Huh. They had to be tamed and trained since their hatching, but, unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Huh. So, Saurian, it's like a meat horse. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, said Tulia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterian's stuff. Wait. She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in the village near Hollowin. He was planning to take all his things there, a pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions, quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So, you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Huh. So I assume finding the Roadwarden is something that's going to happen in the middle of our adventure rather than the end. Because we'll actually be able to use his stuff, you know. It'd be weird if the game ended with us finding the Roadwarden and then we got his stuff, but we couldn't use it because the, story was over. Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hollowin together. Think about your real mission. We were planning to return to Hollowin in the early fall anyway. If he was alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. 5 feet tall, is this guy like a dwarf? Are there dwarves in this, I think? I guess 5 feet isn't that short. Especially in medieval times? I don't know. But stout. Long red beard, short hair, pale face. He rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, he sits down. She sits down and stretches out her legs. So find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, left. Just let me know.
Do you have any rope?
Oh, you're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind.
Take a closer look.
A fine rope. A regular rope made out of hemp fibers. Take it and offer some food in return. Tulia leans forward and rests her forearms on her thighs, looking down with clasped hands that meets her eyes. I normally refuse, but we need some decent food. Every day I'm searching through our grouts, looking for worms and putridity. We forage, but it's not a great spot. Some food rations will brighten up a foggy day. For now, you simply leave the rope on the table. You know what happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Bandits happened, and monsters. A strong band, though, his companion chirps in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. the lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arms. It's almost what we did. But she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap. And the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night. Lose everything you have.
Sounds like slave hunters.
Very much so. They've killed some and took others away. Who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. Kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own. That's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate, it's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered and they had an ice mage among them. I want to be an ice mage. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. So, I don't know if I know what a Roadwarden is necessarily. Because these people clearly do often ward the road. These people clearly do also ward the road, it seems. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. Mentioned monsters as well. Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young. Too experienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. Huh. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. Huh. Yeah, I'm glad we're not in ancient medieval era where you die the moment you get a small inconvenient cut. But like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you got a cut, as long as it wasn't like a giant cut, like you're not gonna instantly die from like infection, you know? Like you can over time, but it's not something, I don't know. Maybe over time we just build up a natural immunity to most just like field bacteria. So getting like a lethal infection like that isn't as possible. I don't know. Also, things were just like generally more unhygienic back then. But a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. You've made this place safer. It's as though you lot are some sort of road wardens. Barely. Tilia seems tired, and who knows if it was worth the lives and effort. Well, maybe. Maybe now that they're sleepy tired, their defenses have dropped, and they will be willing to tell us about what the heck they're even doing here. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost nearby somewhere. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. If you have any other questions. What does that mean? They just want an outpost. Are they going to war with someone? Who knows? If you were me, where would you go next? I can make my own decisions. I know everything I need. Are you sure? Says the bearded man. We may not be around the next time you come here. We should prepare for the night anyway. I agree. You may do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of the soldier. Thank you for your help. And one more thing, if I can. The bearded man approaches you. Can you take the first watch? Splitting time between 3 people makes a great difference. You think for a moment. To rest fully, you need a good sleep. We have 3 health. We're fine. Yeah, I can watch. Fabulous. He pats you on the shoulder. I didn't almost say soldier. It should be calm, at least before midnight. Wake me up in a few hours, or even earlier if anything happens. Happy to do my part. We're playing such a lame character. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. Oh, stinky. Yucky. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. And there's this one really loud were-elk? Were-elk? How many weres are there? Right? How many weres are there in this game? There's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, though has never tried to get in. He points out a gate. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes looking for shelter, you better call us out to help you. And if this someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. He scratches his head. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. The watchtower? Gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here. He points at the pile of crates. This is their watchtower. This is their watchtower. It's like that one picture, you know, the one that's in Chainsaw Man opening. That's not like that at all. That was such an obscure reference. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view at the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side of the camp. I can handle a couple hours sleeping on the ground if you wish. Go there after me and rest, just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. Oh, we unlocked tent. They weren't going to give us a tent. We were going to sleep on the floor. We're being nice, right? We're being nice in the social context and being rewarded for it. How twee. Thanks a lot. Put your blanket down on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, the cricket sounds are making me yawn. At one point, you see a three-toed deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. Okay, so there's a dragonling, which sounds like it would be a baby dragon, but then the dragonling itself has offspring. So maybe dragonlings are just small dragons, I guess. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their defeat. Interesting. Interesting. I don't let it distract me. I keep looking around. Give me an option here. Give me an option. Right, give me an option to just keep watching the funny animals do nonsense. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing... What are runners? Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves for sleep. There are not this many animals this close by. That's not how outside works. I don't know, maybe in this setting that is how outside works. Maybe there's just a multitude, just a mass of animals everywhere, constantly. A dusk fox, what is a dusk fox? Is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Huh. Well, that's cute. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. And once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with a cloak. Sleeping in the tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. Focus on the real goal of my journey. We have a real goal? The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory resources and threats. Get to know the locals. And if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Hovelin officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers? Or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, and slavery? Right, at least we are anti-slavery, right? At least we're anti-slavery. At least the establishment is anti-slavery in this setting. I don't know, blood magic sounds pretty cool. Blood magic can't be that bad. At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak to Tulia and return to Hovelin. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. I don't know, maybe we don't figure out what happened to the past Roadwarden until the end of the game. Like, ideally, I don't know, because it sounds like the game will end after 40 days or whatever. Right? Ideally, you would be able to, like, cash in that quest before the end of the journey so that you can actually, like, use the materials they give you, but, yeah, I don't know. You have your own goal to pursue. Alright, so this is our personal quest. I need to gather some extra coins so I can see my sibling from debt collectors. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I can use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm, a hero. I just want to help people, make this region safer, and for the locals and newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past, and I want it to be forgotten. So edgy. I just want to help people. All this stuff sounds fun, but lame, right? Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious through the pleasant, humid late summer air. Though the pleasant, humid late summer air evens it out slowly. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. All I can do now is rest. I guess we had to press sleep to sleep. What the heck? You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain. And the ground won't be painfully cold. Won't be painfully hard, nor cold. So we're going to lose Star. We're going to lose... I guess that's food. I think that's food. But we're going to gain heart. Well, no, we're not going to gain any heart, actually. Huh. Guess we don't need to eat now. It looks like we're going to be starving when we wake up. Which we are, but... You're woken by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell, like a roast. No, burning meat. Burning rotten meat. Well, a roast is burning meat, right? Yeah, whatever. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. I go outside to see what's happening. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you. Lupo! Lupo. Lupo! She greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. Is that fire? Whatever. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. Good. Ideally. Why are we burning a guy? The burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. A traveler or an undead? Huh? The latter. Good. A young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. So there's just zombies walking around. There's one fun thing about this game. I like how I like how grounded of like a fantasy setting it is, you know? Because in a lot of other fantasy media these days, it's pretty much like action adventure games and stuff. Well, I guess in some ways this is an action adventure game, but you know, it's like the focus is more on the gameplay than the actual like fantasy world. But because we ourselves are like tied to the very like ground, the very premise of this fantasy, right? We're not some super powered action hero just going around slinging swords at stuff, right? We're actually like rooted within, you know, the very premise, the groundedness of the setting itself. It makes the world feel a lot more tactile. It makes the fantasy feel a lot more real. Ironically. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. What are the fogs? One more fog should be a real threat, even though it took a couple of hits to knock her down, huh? So I guess zombies are created by fog. It's some Baldur's Gate Shadow Dark stuff. Wait, it's not called Shadow Dark. What is it called? I forget. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, getting more strength with each soul it devours. At each moment, it spins in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice; it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walked with you for a few steps. Friends here if you need us, or if you learn about what happened to Astarion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell mocked in a number of songs and tales. But you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. And I prepare myself for the journey. You somehow miss the fact that your mountain's already saddled and warmed up. You double-check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were vigilant. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. But you put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt, and then get in the saddle. The palfrey nickers. Time to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads north from here. I need to ride north. Huh, interesting. Alright, so sort of a long introductory segment, but you know, it's a text-based adventure game, so you really do need that sort of establishment. I'm sort of excited now though, because it looks like the adventure, the journey is really going to open up from here, right? For a second, I did forget that this is like an adventure game, right? There is adventure to be had. Right? I was getting kind of lost in the sauce of all the dialogue, but no, there is the promise of a grand epic adventure which awaits us. So, I guess we'll explore that later. We'll explore that next time.